Now let's go yell at these fuckers.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader, or at least he thinks he is.
Smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether. Ether. Pile of nasal sprays, brand name, Nosafed Ultra. Speaker, the big kind they use for live music. Canisters filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The Noid? The pizza Noid?
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg!
The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably hypnotic music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
He's after your pizza, kill him! Wait, how many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet.
And why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead.
Hey!
And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noit's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something you wanted? Your friend Estelle said there was a problem with the church. There's no need, the place is pretty bad.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
It's found music, Jimmy. Found. They made it out of found things.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face.
Enough
Don't
histrionics.
fall for it.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads.
Dopeheads.
Burnouts.
He angrily spits on a screw and then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that. The world.
The first.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are.
Yeah, it's really good.
Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I feel like you may be laying this on a bit thick. What's really so bad about these dopeheads and burnouts?
They're spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just wanna spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
We just want to party, yeah? Would you be so kind as to help us party? Yeah.
Thank you, Egghead.
Egghead
so you're
is
gonna
good.
Look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
He claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
What's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
And what about the key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
The speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden, cool and fused move, tossing it in your general direction. Oh no, reaction speed. Be the cool cop. Catch the key.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left.
Catch it.
Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Play it cool. Thanks, man.
The speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
How long have those people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
That's cool. Taking initiative like this is proper citizen behavior, and I'd endorse it.
Thank you. We just thought it was the right thing to do.
All right, then, other questions.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
Yo, this game is amazing, Jimmy. Like, you really do need to play this game. It's incredible. You haven't even seen them then, and you want the police involved.
Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
What?
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, it's a feeling. Tell me more, Andre.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
Oh, Egg does not care for the silence.
For this man, even regular silence is awful enough. But that was something greater.
But you haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone, or something, eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
What was that about something watching you?
Like, you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human, as in a ghost. Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crabman.
A crab man.
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
Yes, crabs, known for their ability to walk on walls and
It
ceilings.
was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls.
Yes, ambush behavior. Crab men.
Crab man!
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
I thought they were assholes who were like, there's no room for you in this tent. Go outside. But they don't seem bad. They seem like nice guys.
The implications of this are too numerous to consider. Proceed with caution. Learn all you can before entering that dark building. There probably is no crabman. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
So, what can you tell me about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
Alright. So, how can you be sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
This is a below-feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Wow, you can't, but you do! I should add weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from?
All right, let's talk about something else then.
Sure. What?
You mentioned some kind of Ecclesiastes own the church. Who are these Eclairistes, these Eclair pastries?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Now humor me, Andre. What is the founding party?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation. And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the innocentic system, no?
They sound exactly like the kind who would want loud, anodic music in their church.
You're right, they do.
He says without the slightest hint of irony.
The Pericarnassian church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance.
He violently shakes the tape player as if to see if he could break it.
Love is hardcore.
Unity. Unity.
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
He turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will now break into dance.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the bass, as if testing the waters.
No words, enjoy the beat.
Feels good.
You're right! How could the founding party be anything but enthusiastic? Dance music is about love, and so is the Pericarnassian church!
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving.
Yeah! Let it out! Let the disco happen! Bring the disco into this world! Get this church shit on, and then dance there, motherfucker!
Yes, horrific necktie, you're correct. I want to ask you about this tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
What's with all the Nosafed?
The what now?
He leans to hear you better. Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The Nosafed Ultra, you have a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra. We,
He's like an actor, looking to the souffleur for his line.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
You sound fine to me.
Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosafed is the shit.
Can I have some? I have some nose problems too.
Sure. Here you go, officer. The Noser. Blast away.
I see you brought your own water.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
That is distilled too.
Oh,
He doesn't know what to say.
it's the one they sell at the fuel station.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
Well, I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here.
It does, doesn't it?
Told you we have a smell problem.
He picks up a piece of telephone cord and inspects it. Wait, I also smell ether. Why?
Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid?
No,
It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent, like laundry detergent.
He sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share. However, their breathing is regular, their jaws stay put, and their pupils aren't dilated. So, not under the influence right now.
I want to be under the influence right now.
At least, not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants. How do you know all this?
See, it's interesting they would call it benzos here, because that would imply they're benzodiazepines. Which is kind of like our world drug. But I guess amphetamines have been mentioned too. Never mind, it's not that weird. Alright, enough of this.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Take a moment to analyze. Logic, huh? Let me
As
go ahead
always,
and...
We'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah.
Just gotta go ahead and change my clothes in front of you kids. Anything that pluses logic. There's a little logic. A little bit more logic. Bit more logic. Oh, this is a logical man all of a sudden.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Oh, yeah. Unexplained ether smell, unexplained nose effect, headphones were sold.
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids, now gather around.
The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective.
But you still are.
I was good enough in this job to be awarded the rank of Lieutenant Euphrater. I could have been captain, imagine that.
What happened?
I did. I happened to myself.
That's a real downer.
He shakes his large head. Now, obviously, that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me.
The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong.
This is the makings of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speaker.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
You have no headphones. Wouldn't a cell need her headphones to spin tape?
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing.
I know you pawn them, likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients.
I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
And what about your speaker's friend? Did he lose it?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker, you only have one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
They have IRL drugstore, yeah.
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
That nose offense here for its active
He
ingredient.
said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
Likely pseudoephedrine, almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine.
Distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
Ether in the air, useful solvent, good for getting acting agents out of a solution.
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether.
He smiles nervously. There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
He sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
You're sober. Was it hard for you to keep sober for this meeting?
We don't need drugs to be hardcore.
Shut the fuck up, Egg.
Maybe not today, Egg, but you need drugs to get through the days when you're not expecting me.
Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all have our ways to ease the shock.
Bottom line is I know.
What exactly is it you know?
So what are you gonna do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I could be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
Not calling backup and hauling you all off to the bend, for starters.
Okay, man, okay.
He raises his hands.
Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lied when we said we want to turn a church into the wickedest club in East Revershoal.
Because we do! We totally do!
We just need to turn it into a speed lab before.
To get our foot in the door.
And why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
That man is on a lot of speed.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
Let's do this clean. No speed lab, just a club for erotic music.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens into inhuman proportions. His teeth beam like a floodlight.
I knew it.
The would-be leader drops his spiked head between his
It's
knees.
impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for erotic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance.
So there was never going to be a club, in there?
There needs to be a club for erotic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves and I can't. We are running out of time. We need a win, Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
Egg, you're the best! Right, let's call this incident crime prevention. But I have my eye on you.
Okay, we'll try to do it without the drugs.
He raises his head from between his knees.
We'll do a straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but, I swear to God. Okay, Egg?
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
Sober and real and beautiful.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret,
Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega!
All right!
Here comes the night!
could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and parts.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hands through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Tell me about the machines you saw in the church.
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
The supernatural, so you think it's real, that it actually exists.
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs.
Egghead is a conversation puzzle? Okay.
Sonic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff.
And why do they call you Noid?
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
He picks up some sort of widget.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
Does this mean we need some sign matching?
Yes, further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve this would be by getting us into the church.
Okay, maybe I'll come back later then.
The young man,
This is hardcore! Hardcore is a mega, internally coherent.
I was wondering if we knew who killed the mercenary hanging behind the Whirling in Rags hostel.
Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be!
You said that before. Why is this Yakokata the place to be? What does it mean?
Yakokata is a hardcore place!
Yekokata is an abbreviation from the Gradian term, Zone of Ecological Catastrophe, an agricultural megaproject in the extreme southeast of the Gradian Isola. It involved cutting-edge approaches to irrigation and a completely new type of fertilizer. An intricate system of irrigation networks pockmarking the earth, intermittent seas of phosphorus mud, ripped tarpaulin fluttering in the wind. A pair of molten rubber boots also comes to mind. All in all, a truly hardcore place.
Back to the heavy hardcore.
Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Internally coherent.
Nothing.
Hardcore! All right! Yeah!
He
Nothing.
furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
He lets out an agonized roar over the feeblish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. So hardcore!
Is it though?
He stops dead in his tracks, tilting his head to the side. I was just thinking that a moment ago.
One mind, one spirit. There's no other world. There's no other life.
Damn it, AK.
Big club, true. Hardcore, internally
Hardcore! All right!
He furrows his
hardcore. Ah!
No. But seriously, I'm worried it isn't.
The question is, what is the question?
That would have been good if I had asked you a question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic.
But there was a question?
God damn it, Ink! I'll be back. I'm worried about this very cold person over here.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us?
I got bested by
With
Ink.
the church, I mean.
I'll help you all right.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan.
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much. You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Indeed, she merely tried to omit the truth instead.
Instead, you opted to admit the truth. It's the same thing.
I know, but I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them?
Do what you will with your dance club plans, just no drug labs, please.
Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
We'll see. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
And what did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
No, you were wrong. I do believe you.
Why?
What would you stand to gain by lying?
Nothing. Anyway, what else?
I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
Just please answer the questions.
Sorry. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
To the cops.
Well, what about you then? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Aha. Okay, maybe I'll ask about this later.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Yeah, she is good. She might be one of my favorite characters so far, just because she's straightforward, she's kind, and she realizes that her friends are idiots, but she cares about them anyway.
The close. True, hard, full, hardcore, hardcore, internally
All car! All right! Yeah!
He furrows his brow.
And she doesn't rat him out, exactly.
Is it though?
It is.
What is it? I mean, really?
He tilts his head to the side like an owl. The question is, what is the question?
No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
He frowns, then starts bobbing his head back and forth once more.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
You said you were worried. What do you think is wrong with the music?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore.
He turns pensive all of a sudden.
Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last month, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper?
He thinks for a moment, then his expression clears.
It's like it's only ultra.
Whereas it must be plus ultra?
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
If anything, it sounds a bit proto. Like it's not fully formed yet. You might be a moribund alcoholic and a failed cop, but you are pretty certain a thing cannot be both proto and hardcore.
It's proto, not hardcore at all.
Wow! Culture cop! I think you might be right. But how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hardcore, how could anything be?
Sorry, I was reading through the responses and I got to. Wait, I just remembered something. I'm the police! Sounds suspiciously like a question. I thought the question was, what is the question?
No! This is the answer!
Try to think of anything that could make it harder core.
What? Guys, there's something happening in his head.
Think even harder.
Oh yeah! He's doing it!
But you're not. This is almost certainly a matter that surpasses the limits of reason.
My imagination fails me.
I know! So does mine!
He laughs and shakes his head. Wait, I just remembered something. I'm the police!
Uh-huh.
He's burst with anticipation. And I have a job to do. Goodbye. Nothing. Me being the police isn't going to help us.
Oh.
I can't help you with this right now. I need something else. Something extra.
Yeah!
Maybe your body can tell you. Hardcore. All right, I need to put some physical instrument stuff on. Goodbye, Egghead.
All right.
Physical instrument. Got a tank top for that? I think I just got the one thing for physical instrument. They should just talk to Kuno. I feel like we should keep everybody away from Kuno.
The large-headed.
Good morning! Yeah!
Come
Pump
on.
It up! Pump it up!
No,
Damn it.
that would be silly. Your body isn't for thinking. It's for robust, wholesome things. Things like discus, javelin, and 400-meter hurdles. Discus.
Did someone say disco?
Horrific Necktie wants to try again. Thank you, Horrific Necktie.
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate, in your heart that's alone, and in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every chordate animal.
It needs more bass.
What?
Young man makes a sudden move like he's about to turn the volume down, but that would be ridiculous. And a good melody is what makes the song really stick, so that you can't get it out of your head anymore.
Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from?
I don't know, I was thinking you would know.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything about Nordic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
He feels ashamed. He can't be of more service to the future of dance music.
Okay, I'll look into it. In an official capacity, it's up to the police to make the beats go harder.
The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his smile, as if it could hinder your investigation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Van Eyck's jam.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell. That's just an idea.
Anyway, that's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman!
Why are there lungs on your belt buckle anyway?
Lungs are for love!
L'amour, la compassion, l'autodiscipline.
Love!
He
In
suddenly
a woman's
goes.
lungs. Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid. This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on. Because I've never loved someone like you before.
Egg, are you a thought reader?
No nation, but transnation. No war,
New
but
orders
class
agent
war.
47.
Hardcore. Does that mean you're a thought reader?
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as fault reading.
Yeah! Revolution imperative!
Unless you were thinking Revershaw imperative right now.
You're
Anyway,
right.
I've had a similar thing happen with X yelling. I know what you mean.
You're right, I wasn't thinking that.
Hardcore superstar!
So you're not a thought reader, you're a communist?
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Palaceum. She was a communist, though.
Yeah! With the rebel yell!
Tell me something else, Egg.
Yeah!
Is your real name Jermaine?
Dark Hard Hardcore! Jermaine Egghead!
Basically, yes it is.
Anyway, I have a tape here with me. Maybe you could use it to improve Van Eyck's jam.
Tape! Yeah! Spins the tape until the space escape! Yeah!
What about this one? I haven't heard what's on it yet.
Righteous!
All right. He takes it, puts it in the empty reel slot, hand over ear, he listens, then shakes his head.
No! No, can't do! This is gonna make people sad! This isn't sadcore!
He hands the tape back. Okay, never mind.
Yeah!
Goodbye, Egg. Yay! Egg is a good egg. He's a good egg. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours. What do we have here? Sign reads St. Brune 1147. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. You're sorry, Cop. You need to invent Sadcore. Yeah, I do. Dusty pews in the shadows. Many seem to be missing. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. Now that we have a new place to stay for free, we could spend our money on stuff that's cool and fun, and not on garbage stuff like necessities. $255. My God, I'm a wealthy man now. These rusty gears are used to turn the whole machine. Chains trail off into the ocean, to who knows where.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle. You rattle the handle
Of course.
then push on the door with all your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked, it's also jammed shut.
Yeah, I washed in my new house. I wonder what's inside. How can I get in there?
Can't. This door cannot be opened, ever. At least you can think about opening it, about doors in general. They are, after all, fundamental to your life. Perhaps something useful would come from this.
What is this thing anyway?
The concrete structure looks military in origin, over half a century old at least, but sturdily built.
One more door. God damn it cannot be a disgrace. That door on the coast. You remember the one, right? One that leads to the abandoned supply depot? Why in the name of all that's holy does it not open? Why? There has to be a way to get through that openable door. By God's name, the police. All doors are supposed to open before you. Well, the others at the precinct thing. If you can't open a goddamn door, there must be a way. This is a thought exclusively about one fucking door? Obviously, I'm going to internalize this thought. Walk away. Barrel's been recently discarded. It smells of fuel oil. Cigarette butts, cleaned away under a rock. Brand, a word I won't even try to pronounce. Someone's made a campfire here a long, long time ago. Oh, I painted that wall, ephemeris. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. This ladder's much too rusty to climb. The sea air is eating away at it. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay, barely. Scented scarf. -2 to physical instrument. Tiny inlets there, off in the far distance. Where the post trail forward. It's true, Kuno still needs love. I do regret not writing I love Kuno on that wall. That would have really messed with his head. We can only hope we run into another wall for painting. Ooh, white polo shirt. Fancy. That's the thing, it's like you got a thing that replaces horrific necktie. Like, why would I ever do that? Have you met horrific necktie? Why would I betray horrific necktie? I'm insulted you would even suggest something like that. Can I go behind this church? Yes, but not the way I wanted. I'm excited to find people that have starved to death inside that church. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. Horrific necktie would kill me. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Random number. For 10 cents, you got it.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female. It sounds about 100 years old. No, this is not Pierre.
Do you have any news about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you, then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
No, I'm a police officer.
To hell with the police. To hell with you.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
I will lose all my money if I don't get out of here right now. Just call random numbers whenever you want, like, my god. That's dangerous for me. Buzz, electrical flow through the wires with audible power.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it
but they can help the investigation
to dry out.
I'm gonna call more, but I want to do other stuff on the coast first.
Into a shapeless mass. Much as the thought of touching it causes you to cringe, this could be the jacket the idiot in the colourful tracksuit was looking for.
Filthy jacket.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
This jacket gets so disgusting.
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it?
Oh, let's think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Okay, but what's the crust made of?
Somehow, it was carried or dragged to the boardwalk. If not by human hands, then perhaps the feral dogs that prowl the beaches at night. The faint impressions of many footprints are also present, though it's impossible to tell what kind or how many. Suffice to say, the jacket spent some time on the ground before someone draped it over the railing.
What happened once someone put it on the railing?
The crust is hard. This jacket spent at least a day baking in the sun. Who knows what happened to it then?
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't think about any of this.
It's too late. You've already thought about it, and now your hands are covered in muck.
Ew, 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 ew.
Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Filthy jacket doesn't show up in here. Very good. Seems like I'm safe. I can't wear it. At least not yet. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. A coin-operated weighing machine has been used for a decade. Makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. This tarp will keep out neither rain nor snow nor wind. The opposite of a postal service. Oh, Megabino's prescription lenses. Yeah, the smell will make them answer my questions. I'm a wealthy man today. Big wine canister. It's open and empty.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Hold on, that is awful.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it.
What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that.
Uh-oh.
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be.
It's a dead corpse, isn't it?
Yes. A sense of dread washes over you as you look ahead. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
Never a good thing to find a corpse, yeah. Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there. Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself.
Of course I would find a corpse when I don't have Kim with me.
Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body.
Kim's bringing the other dead body to the morgue. Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue? Oh no. This sounds terribly familiar.
Search his
You
pockets.
find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels
Still his
solid
identity.
and heavy under your hand.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all. He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last. That's what the chewing gum seems to point to as well.
Say the
There's
surroundings.
some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Examine the man's
A
head.
dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him. This is where he came out of himself, drop by drop, when he was unconscious. It took 3, maybe 4 minutes.
Examine the bottle.
0.75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Study that gum wrapper.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth. To hide the stench of alcohol, no doubt.
Test those floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him. The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
What should I do with the body?
First, you need to talk with the lieutenant, then report back to the station. This is too complicated to handle on your own.
Of course we had to find him now.
The library card is folded into 2. and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald.
We found her husband.
Indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800. You should first decide what to do with the corpse before taking any further actions. Talk to Kim about it.
What if we can call Kim on the telephone? Because he's gone. Can't talk to him about it right now. He'll be back in the morning. Guess we could just wait for the morning. Poor guy. Bars cover these long, dusty windows. Look, son, this place is a shithole. Another power box. Charges nothing now, it's empty.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
Kim, I found a dead body. We have a real Stand By Me situation on our side. I want to show you a dead body, Kim. Follow me on the train
A
tracks.
slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Tomorrow's just a whisper away.
Ah, yes. Their famous motto. A fine example of technological optimism from...
He says something, but the wind blows the words away before you can hear him.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officer, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I was just telling my son about this building. Not many people appreciate the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Wait, what were you talking about with the windows before?
Oh, yes. So, Mikhail, they had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Paint the wall, change it to electrochemical. All right, you were talking about the building. Go on.
Very important. Mikhail, say hi to the officer.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child remains hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
Thems.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Delicious verbs. He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Oh, I don't want your money. I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills were working.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact,
He looks up again, a playful hint shining in his eyes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it?
Travis Hiddlestam here to remind you that incredibly fucking boring nerds also exist in Revachol.
If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
What's so fascinating about an empty building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All three of you turn to admire the mural before him.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Field Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts the suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced.
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other buildings, then continues. This man's made a 50-minute YouTube video about From Software's Kuan.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
He does seem like the kind of man that would make a 6.5 long video about the timeline of, like, the Metal Gear franchise. Weapon engineers, the company people.
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the revolution?
Tape computers, right?
Tape computers.
Wind tussling his suit jacket. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, From Bessere than to Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How do those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like, but word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Now, we have to go back to the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, because Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is one of the greatest names I've ever heard. I mean, did you hear what you said? Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is fantastic. I mean, Guy Juice is a good name, too. Did Guy Juice make the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center in Wedderford? Holy shit. Sorry, dude, wasn't paying attention. Was too busy thinking about that damn door.
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center?
That's right, reaction speed. Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center.
He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
I love when I get hung up on something, I hit the button, the game's like, no, my friend, we're also hung up on something. Don't worry.
What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, Paul Ackerman. Wait, Ackerman, Paul Ackerman. Is this a Mr. Show thing? Keith and Guy Juiced? What are you talking about, man?
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Attaboy. You're making this up. Hey, is your dad making this all up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center
My
is
God,
a
it's a
place
thought.
you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
He clears his throat. Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. It's Wednesday evening, and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wonder Twins, Guy and Keith Juiced, are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibit. It's the Wumpty Dumpty Dommiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you if not there? Incredible.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Cool!
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Wait, the Feld playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. I wanted to ask something else.
But of course. What else?
Thank you for all the interesting
Thanks
information.
to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Oh, by the way, don't go down there. There's a corpse. Anyway, bye, kid.
One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character.
I must open the door.
Some doors will forever remain closed, even if every single other door will open at one time or another. Maybe to a key, or maybe to some sort of tool meant for opening doors. But this one will never accede to such commands.
No.
A realization crucial to personal growth.
No!
Crucial.
No, I don't want to accept that! -1 to half-light. No fear. All psych white checks are unlocked. Can't believe you. Hey kid, you want to see a dead body? $5! My god! Fence blocks the path. No way from here. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's him! One of our missing persons won't be a corpse today!